Biggest mistake first-time home buyers make?
A nice floor, a nice kitchen, a nice furniture sitting there, and they immediately think, oh, I like this place, I want to live here.
What are some of the red flags in a house that buyers often miss?
The floors, sometimes the unevenness, and also the trees.
Anything else they should be worried about?
The lightings.
Lightings. Many people think that down payment is the hardest part. Is that actually true?
They are a little bit scared. They think they have to put a lot of down payment, but it's actually something achievable.
On an average, how many homes buyers look at before they actually buy one?
10, 20, 30 homes. But for a first home buyer, if they started seeing that many homes, they're just going to forget about their original needs.
What is something buyers often regret after purchasing their first home?
They see the neighbor's house get sold at a cheaper price. Then they started thinking, oh, did I pay too much price, or did I didn't get a good deal?
Today we're going to talk about real estate, especially in the Bay Area, California. Let's get started.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Haiyan, to be in my channel. It's called Mindfulness with Manish. It's a podcast for, we cover a lot of generic topics which are relevant in the market and people like to hear. Today we're going to talk about real estate, especially in the Bay Area, California. And you are a top agent in California working with Bay Area Estates, which is one of the Keller Williams company in the Bay Area. So can you tell me a little bit about yourself? How long you've been a real estate agent? Where are you from? How long you have been living here and things like that.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me to your podcast. I have been in real estate for over 10 years. I was in the high-tech industry before that. Coming to real estate is a very interesting field. I get to work with people and helping them making the biggest decision in life for that period of time. Nice. So it's very exciting.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's been 10 years for you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time. So you were working in tech before?
Yes.
Okay. Where were you working?
I was in semiconductor industry.
Okay.
Yes. But I was always in the business side.
Okay.
So I finally decided, okay, I really want to get into a really business that can help people.
Got it. And you love real estate?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, talking about real estate, right? So there's a lot of topics, for real estate. So my first thing is, buying a home for buying the home for first time home buyers, right? They're always scared about a lot of things. You can range it from rate of interest and where to buy and things like that. Can you simplify the process for a new home buyer? What exactly, how you can help them? What exactly, they should look for, important things and things like that. Yeah.
A lot of buyers, they start thinking about buying a home. The first thing they worry about is their budget. Financially, if they can afford, what they can do. And actually, the important part is the process itself. They really need to be more prepared before jumping into the market. Buying a home is not only a financial decision, it's a life decision. So they need consultant be on their side and helping them along the way. So that's where a real estate agent comes in.
Okay. Yeah. And the real estate agent helps in the entire end-to-end process, from which area to, what kind of house and what are some of the issues with the house and things like that. Exactly, right?
Yeah. And very importantly is the emotional part of it. Yeah. A lot of time, especially for the first home buyers, they are very excited thinking about getting a home. And at the same time, they're very nervous of these big decisions, right? As a real estate agent, really our job is to hold their hands, to be their sounding board, and to provide the calming voice for them.
Right. So you work with a lot of first-time home buyers, right? So what's the biggest misconception people have about buying their home?
Yeah, I think going back to the financial decisions and the life decisions, a lot of time when first buyers walking into a home, they started imagining how their life going to be. Sometimes they get the view of looking at a home is a little bit different because they look at a nice floor, a nice kitchen, a nice furniture sitting there. And they immediately think, oh, I like this place, I want to live here. But sometimes they get missed is their how that's going to fit their life when they move in, right? So very important is the floor plan. So I always remind the client to say, okay, look at the floor plan, look at where the room is positioned, look at how you're going to have work in one place or live or having dinner.
Yeah.
Where, so that is what I try to remind the client to think rather than get attracted by the design, by the color of the house, by the position of the furniture.
Right.
Right. So,
Right.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
At what point do most buyers realize that the process is much harder than they expected?
I think especially in our market, it's very much a seller market. So many times we are facing the competitions.
You think that is a seller's market still?
Yes.
Okay. So
it depends.
It depends upon the area.
The different area,
Yeah.
right? But a lot of good school district, if the house is prepared well and the location is well, so it's always go fast, right? And I think especially for first home buyers that buying a home is already a very financial nervous decisions. And now you're facing the competitions. You will have to, sometimes you have to make a decision quick on whether you're going to go compete or you're just going to stay back.
Okay.
Right. So that it's definitely a very stressful moment. But what I try to really help them is to guide them along the way and prepare them in advance.
Yeah.
Right. So when I see a house, they see if the listing price is low, I try to prepare them to say, we are going to face competitions. We are going to see multiple offers. Right. So along the way, tell them and give them a price range. So that I think can help them in some way. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a very important point because myself, I'm a real estate agent. Also, I'm planning to buy a house for myself. When we go and see any open house, like especially in Milpitas, for example, listing price is like $1 million, but that's not the right price, right? So we do the CMA, which is competitive market analysis. We'll see that, okay, the neighboring house are 1.5. So it's not, go for 1 million. So there's going to be multiple people who came to the house for the open house because the listing price was so cheap. And I think that's all strategy, how they do it. So what's the hidden cost of buying a home that buyers almost never budget for?
I think it's after they move in, it's compared to a lot of this first home buyers before they were renting, right? As a renter, the home maintenance cost is not your cost, it's the landlord cost. So a lot of time you don't see the home maintenance things like even the roof at certain age, certain years, they need to change the roof. And a lot of time is about the plumbings, right? When you're a renter, sometimes when the bathroom toilet clogs, you call the landlord and landlord send a plumber to help you fix it. But now you're the owner. You have to deal with all these things. Yeah. And the kitchen sink leaking water, that's a very common things. You just have to be prepared to deal with all these little things.
God. It's a pain, but it's worth it, right?
Yeah. Because so that's also something I'm trying to tell my clients before they really get into the house, right? All these little things. They just need to be prepared for. And I always tell them, I say, I'm here and your agent is not like I help you buy a house. We just disappear, right? And we're still here. If you have any questions about the home maintenance or issues, just come to me and I can help you with some resources.
You trusted vendor.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
Many people think that down payment is the hardest part. Is that actually true?
I think definitely financially, right? You have to getting the down payment ready and you have the loan mortgage part of it. That those things has to get you the house you wanted, right? But I think some people, they are a little bit scared about getting that financial part because they think they have to put a lot of down payment and their loan may not get qualified. I always tell them, I say, let's sit down, go through the numbers, and I have the loan agents, lenders, and we partner with can help you calculate the numbers, right? Get through, and then you may realize that it's actually something achievable. And also talking about getting a house, there's a tax benefit of it, owning a house, right? So that can really help.
That's a very important point. So can you tell me a little bit about the tax benefit? So if a W-2 employee is there, right, earning salary through, NVIDIA or Salesforce or whatever, how they get the tax benefit of owning a house?
Yeah. So if they are renting, all the rent is a cost, right? You every month you get the cost out. But if you own a house, the mortgage part, the property tax is based on your income tax bracket. You actually can get a lot of benefit, more benefit than you realize. So talk to your tax advisor, or even you do TurboTax yourself. Just do a simulation. That's what I always tell my client. I say, try to go to the software, do a simulation just to do the calculation to just say, okay, I own this house last year. I paid how much mortgage and what's the property tax. You put the number in, do a simulation and compare to you didn't have a house last year and see what's the tax benefit come out. You really will be surprised.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't know about that. That's number one.
Yeah.
And second important point you mentioned, they're scared about the number. They think that the Bay Area market is very expensive. So they never talk to the lender. So I think the advice from my side also is talk to the lender, go into the numbers and see if you can do it. Because sometimes they feel like, if they like what kind of the down payment they can put, if the down payment is high, how much is the difference in the mortgage they can make and things like that, right? So that also depends. My other question is, what financial mistake do you see first-time home buyers make?
I think they are just thinking of the monthly mortgage part. And if they don't budget on the maintenance cost, that might hurt them, right? Because if they think, okay, my monthly income is this, and I can afford this house, but then if I didn't put aside or doesn't have the enough buffer to help with house maintenance, it might hurt them.
Okay, so the house maintenance is the key.
Yeah,
they should also think
it's something to consider to the best. Yeah,
okay. Because you think about mortgage will be like 7,000, 8,000. Then on top of that, all the maintenance.
Yeah, on all the maintenance, it just need to be budgeted for, right?
Yeah.
So don't get to a point that if there's something need to fix, and then all of a sudden you need to get another loan or something to cover that.
Right. That makes sense. I want to ask some questions about home search reality. Like home search is a very, confusing and trouble process in the Bay Area. Like the Bay Area is very big, right? So, on an average, how many homes do first home buyers look at before they actually buy one from your point of view?
A lot of time I start with just talking to them, the consultation part, right? That's why I don't advise, especially first home buyers, don't just go start with open houses, because when you see 10 homes, before you really understand the process, before you really understand what you're looking for, you're going to get lost. The whole homes are all different. So I tell my clients is that before going to the open house, before we do any search, let's sit down, talk through about their needs, about their ideal lifestyle. And then I try to guide them to say, these are the areas we can look for. These are the price point. These are the type of homes that we should look for. And I typically just give them a few samples of different variations. And then I also tell them, I say, don't go to see houses yet. We're going to talk about it. The homes we're going to see this weekend, we're not going to see more than 6 homes a time. And I will tell them, I say, go to this home, we're going to look for locations. This home, we're going to look for 3-bedroom versus 4-bedroom. See if you can live in a 3-bedroom, right? So that type of things, get them prepared before they walk into a house. To see, because otherwise it's very overwhelming. It's very easy to get lost. We see homes every week we see like 10, 20, 30 homes, right? But for first home buyers, if they started seeing that many homes, they're just going to forget about their original needs.
Right. What are some of the red flags in a house that buyers often miss, but you immediately notice?
I think the inspection report is something a little. Sometimes the buyers are a little scared when they look at the inspection report. It's hard for them to really understand what's important, what's not so important, right? As a realtor's job is really to help them, guide them to understand that part. It's not like we're the expert knowing how to fix all the issues, but we're trying to identify what's the important part, what's the not so important part.
So, for example, let's say I'm a buyer, you are my agent. Mm-hmm. We see a house in front of us. We walk in. How do you, identify all those? Like, I know this as an agent, maybe you are good in identifying, okay, the roof needs, replacement. Maybe there's cracks on the ground. Maybe there's a leveling issue, or the furniture needs to be replaced and things like. What are some of the things which you identify and tell the buyer?
Yeah, I think especially in the Bay Area, the floors, sometimes the unevenness. I think when buyers get into a home, they get attracted by the furniture, by the color of the place. I always try to walk around the house, trying to feel if there's any unevenness. And that unevenness, sometimes it might be a just minor thing to change, or sometimes it's caused by the flooring, poor workmanship. But sometimes it's a foundation might have some issues that need to be dealt with. And also the trees. We all love trees. We love the greenness, but you also want to see where the tree is positioned. Sometimes the roof can have some impact to the foundations, right? Things like that.
Okay, that's very important. So one thing you mentioned is leveling. Mm-hmm. Second thing you mentioned trees, position of trees and things like that. Third is roof. Mm-hmm. Anything else they should be worried about?
The lightings. Right. I think a lot of people are very, the lighting is a part of the house, bring the energies to and the airflows. That's something I think it's because we see so many houses, so we can immediately kind of point out, okay, the wind is going to come this way. There's no window on this side. The sun is coming there, right? The home buyer, they walking, it's overwhelming to think of all this. Their immediate attention is the floor, how does that look? The kitchen counter, the stove, if it's a gas or electrical, right? Those are immediate things that attract their attentions, but sometimes they forget about to really look at the flow, look at when they live there, how that sunlight is going to affect them. Yeah. Right. So
I think some of the things can be easily replaced. For example, kitchen countertops, those are on cabinets and the flooring. But some things I think realtors are experts. They can identify and things. That's where I really love their opinions.
Yeah.
This is bad, this is good and things.
Yeah. I think the locations, right? I always tell clients is that even the floor plan, sometimes you can change. You can knock down a wall. You can put up a wall. But the house location is hard to change, where it's facing the street or it's next to a busy street versus corner. Yeah. So that makes a huge difference. Yeah. And that always reflected in price point. So that's why people are asking, oh, how come this house so cheap and that house is go crazy on price?
Yeah.
It's just one street difference. One house is in a perfect cul-de-sac. The other one is more close to a major busy street. That makes the difference on the price too. Yeah.
Have you ever had clients fall in love with a house that they knew was a bad decision?
I think the buyers, the first home buyers, they get attracted on the
big houses.
Yeah, the big houses.
Okay, well, this is such a easy one.
Nice, right?
But it's a bad call.
Yeah, it's a lot of time it's the location. I try to emphasize. I say, are you sure will be hard for you to back in and back out? Oh. The if it's close to a major street, right? But also, I try to just let them make the decisions, right? Our job is to point out all these things. I always tell them upfront, I say, a good house, the definition of good is different to different people, right? It's good for you. It may not be good for others. So think of what's important to you. And that comes to the earlier consultation time. I try to really understand what's important to them and trying to remind them that what they told me before. And of course, sometimes their thinking evolves and changes.
Yeah.
But I try to just get back to the basis to say, is this what you are thinking? Is this what you want to change? Is this what you want to accept?
Yeah.
Right. And once they really go through that thinking to say, yes, this is the house, this is the location we're accepting, because there are people, it's fine with a busy street. They love the house, they want a bigger house, and this is the price point they can get, then they're happy with it.
Yeah.
So that's good.
That makes sense. So right now, do you think it's a good time for first-time buyers to enter the market?
That comes to a very good point. That's another important point is, as a buyer, don't think of timing the market. It's really to be prepared for the process, for what comes, right? There's never a good time or not a good time, especially if you're buying a home that you're going to live there. For investors, yes, sometimes we do that calculation. We say, oh, now it might be financially, it's good for you to get into real estate.
But for people who are living there?
For people living there, anytime
matter.
it's good. It's just because it's your life decision. It's in your life stage. If you're ready and financially capable,
then go for it.
Go for it, yeah. And we can always find opportunities in every market.
Yeah, that makes sense. What are some of the mistakes people make when bidding on a house?
That comes twofold. One is being too cautious and just to think, oh, maybe not that many people are going to bid or going to start from low price, and then maybe we can increase. But you never know, because if there's someone if the seller getting a better offer, they may not counter you, right? So you just lose the opportunities. Even you thought you could go that high, but you wanted to start slow.
Yeah.
And in a flip side is some people, they lose one house, they lose two houses when they made the offer, then that emotions get high, and then they really want a house, they just all of a sudden jump very high. And especially in the competition situation, some people just say, oh, I want to go that high. I want to go beat the other one and just increase the price, right? So that sometimes when they are done with that, think back, they will regret and they will think, oh, I really shouldn't go that high. And then this may not be the right house for me, right? So that is on both sides. And that comes back to the realtor's job, is really to help to educate them, to help them understand their budget, and not getting that pressure to say, okay, I have to go over my budget in order to get that house. And which sometimes it might be an okay decision for them. They had a budget originally, but then if they found a really nice house they love, they're okay with going up above their budget. But that really depends on their situation.
Their situation, yeah. So, what is one thing about the home buying process that almost nobody talks about?
I think that's coming back to the emotions part. People always emphasize about the financials. They always say, okay, you need to understand your financials. You need to know what house you like. And then we go look for the locations, right? A lot of time buyers jump into market too quickly. When they started thinking of buying houses, they immediately start going to see open houses. And I think that actually will hurt them, because it will get them not really prepared about the process along the way.
Okay.
So sometimes you really need to understand that emotions part of it. Trying to think through the locations you want to live and the lifestyle, what kind of lifestyle you want to get into.
Okay.
or you want to maintain.
Yeah, one question I have is on, what kind of houses? So basically, condo versus townhouse versus single family. I know it depends upon the financial situation, but do you ever think condos and townhouses appreciate a lot?
From the appreciation perspective, I think everyone knows single family is the winner,
yeah.
right? But it doesn't mean condo and townhouses you just shouldn't buy. It really depends on your life stage. And for certain people, especially first home buyers, I tell them, I say, this may not be your forever home. This is your first home. So try to get into a first home and be a homeowner. This is your homeowner journey. The first home you get. And maybe after a couple of years, your financial situation improves and you grow your family, you can look for the next home, right? So don't think of you buying a home, you're just going to get locked in. And the key thing is you get a home that you can start building your equity.
Yeah. I think that's the right
So
way.
a lot of time people say, oh, I cannot afford that $2 million home, single family home. I say, don't need to, right?
Yeah.
There's even under 1 million, there's 500K. You can still buy a condo and live comfortably.
Like, for example, I'm also looking to buy a house. So I was searching in Milpitas area because that's the area I feel like, in the South Bay, it's a little cheaper compared to other areas. It's near to, the East Bay and to Palo Alto and things like that. But, condos are always cheaper, but never appreciates. But the space is also limited. Townhouse are a little bigger, but single family is the winner. But always single family, you need to spend more. But as you mentioned, depending upon your life situations and your financial condition, you can, start somewhere and then go from there.
Yeah. And even condos and townhomes, they go through the cycles. And we do see when everything appreciates, when the market is good, condos actually sometimes jump higher, right? When people cannot afford single family home, they go to condos and townhomes. And that's where you bring the condos and townhomes market up. And when that gap becomes smaller, people think, townhomes and the condos are so expensive and I almost could stretch a little bit and get a single family home.
Yeah.
Then they're going for a single family home. So there's always going a cycle.
Yeah.
And the gap between condos and townhomes and the single families, it's always become bigger and smaller, that cycle. Yeah. So
that makes sense. Yeah. So, what is something buyers often regret after purchasing their first home?
After
buying their first home, what are the things they regret?
They regret?
No,
I hope not. I hope they don't regret.
They were like, oh my God, I didn't think about this when I know about it. I don't think so. That's a problem, right?
Yeah, I think that's what we try to educate them.
Yeah.
And sometimes they were trying to compare with the market.
Yeah.
Right? They bought a home. We all know this market is up and down.
Yeah.
They bought a home. They went through all the bidding war. They bought a home. They were happy. Then all of a sudden they see the neighbor's house down the street or 2 blocks away get sold at a cheaper price. Then they started saying, oh, did I pay too much price or did I didn't get a good deal, right? And that's also sometimes I try to just remind them. I say, you got into a house you love, especially when the market is going down, right? The people bought houses during pandemic. That was the peak of the time, right?
Yeah.
Then they realized that a year later, the house didn't really appreciate the other neighbor's house sold cheaper. But then I also try to remind them, I say, you bought it, you made the right decision at that time. That's just what you have. And you got a good home. You lived there for a year already. Think about if you didn't, then you have to pay rent for the whole year, right? So and a lot of my clients, I think they enjoy their home ownership. I haven't heard much complaints.
Right. Yeah. Right. Makes sense. What's the most unexpected problem buyers face after moving in? I think I think the furniture arrangement, that's always things, right? They a lot of time is getting a new furniture, especially for first home buyers. They were renting before, now they have a new home, they started buying new furniture, how to fit all the different places
So that's
That's another
another
problem,
thing,
yeah.
another thing for them to do
Yeah.
after they move. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Is there anything about the real estate industry that buyers should understand but usually don't?
I think some buyers, they don't really understand, or they don't really know what to expect from a real estate agent. They think the realtors is there to help them write offers. So they go to see open houses. They're trying to make all the decisions in their head or find a house. Then they're trying to find an agent to help them write an offer. And that actually, they definitely didn't utilize the realtor in the right way, because realtors is really supposed to be coming to the picture a lot earlier in the process, right? And help to understand their needs and help guide them along the way and get them prepared for what's coming. So if you don't, you just go look for a house and you think of the price and you get a realtor to present you. That realtor may not be presenting you the best way, because the realtor, even if it's a good realtor, if they don't know you, they cannot picture that buyer in front of the listing agent to help the listing agent what this offer really means.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a very important part. A lot of buyers, they don't realize.
They don't realize, yeah. What questions should buyers always ask their agent, but really they don't?
I don't think I have a very good answer, but I always think is they need to find that right match. Right. It's a relationship. It's not that a best agent, it just fits you. You really have to get that connection. You need to feel that your agent is there, understand you, and can represent you, and you have that full trust to the agent. The trust is something built upon, right? It's not because the agent has a good background, good whatever credential the agent has, that agent just fit your situation.
It doesn't come in one day. It comes with honesty.
But then from really sit down and talking, that's to get that relationship. They have to feel it's the right agent for them. So that's why I say don't rush until when you see a house, you need to write an offer, then you find whatever agent, so that you don't have a full trust in that agent, and that agent don't really understand you either.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are some of the warning signs buyers should watch when choosing a real estate agent?
Warning sign? It's...
Some agents are pushy. I've seen that,
Yeah.
They're like, this is the last home. You will not get it. Something like that.
Yeah. That's exactly. So that's the buyers. Some buyers, they want the agent to
sign the deed.
I think that also just comes with the time that, right? It's a relationship. You definitely need some time to understand each other's. And if that's why don't rush till the end. When you really see a house, you're ready to make an offer, then you look for a real estate agent. You find an agent earlier. You talk to the agent. You see if the agent really cares about you. So that's the important part, right? Definitely this market, there are a lot of agents, the different tactics the agent do. So you have to find the right one that fits you. Yeah.
Are there situations where you think someone should not buy a house yet?
It's, what do you mean? You will not buy a house here?
So I think what are some of the situations where you say, no, you should not buy a house?
I think for people want to time the market too much. Yeah,
I have a friend of mine who's a buyer. He's taking like so much time, like 2 years maybe, to buy a house. So
I think if you are just really thinking of, I want to get the lowest price possible, and so that will hurt them. And if the financial is all you're looking at, you might look at something different to invest your money, right?
Yeah.
There's all the different ways of investing.
Yeah,
There's
stocks and everything.
The stock, right? Some have high risk, some low risk.
Yeah.
So you can talk to your financial advisor to understand where to really invest money.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense. So, Haiyan, I think this has been great. I have some rapid fire questions, short questions, and you can give me short answer or long answer depending on you. So, my first question is biggest mistake first time home buyers make?
Jumping to market too quickly.
Most overrated feature in a house?
Kitchen.
Why kitchen is most overrated?
Because kitchen, it actually attracts the buyers the first a lot of time, but they get attracted. So if a kitchen made it nice, they may be just paying a lot of more extra money. But kitchen it's remodeling is not that too much a big deal. Yeah. So you can still change the counter. Yeah. You can change the cabinet. Even you don't change it, you just change the cabinet front and change the doorknob. Yeah. That will make the difference, right? So that's that sometimes buyer didn't realize that.
Okay. One thing buyers should never compromise on.
Location. That's something it can never change. Where the location is, which city, what street is on, what is the neighborhood. That's a key thing.
Yeah. Renting versus buying right now.
I would always say buying. The renting is just not going to financially. It's never a right decision.
I see. Okay. Don't you think the down payment that you put in a buying a home, some people think that down payment can be put somewhere else. Like it's a big down payment, right? Like maybe putting in other stocks or something is bad. What do you think?
I think if you're a savvy investor in stock, you could argue that.
Yeah.
But on the other side, it comes to the home ownership benefit. When you have a stable home, when you feel that you own the house, that feeling is great. It's great. Or you could argue to say no, but it depends. It depends on the people. I think.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah. If someone listening wants to buy a home first time in the next 1 to 2 years, what are some of the 3 things you should start doing today?
Find a realtor, I think. Yeah. Or start looking at the financials, right? Talk to a loan officer and do some calculations. That's really the starting
Not going
point.
to the open house.
Yeah, don't go to the open house.
That's going to be the overwhelming.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people without the agent, they go. They go to the open houses. They feel, this open house on this weekend, this open house on the next weekend. But I think they don't go with the process, which is, talking to the loan officer, figuring out the area, figuring out what they exactly want, because there's and time is limited, right? We just have 24 hours. Yeah. How many open houses you can go?
Yeah, exactly. I think getting prepared about the process.
Yeah.
That's a very key thing. Yeah.
Nice. So, Haiyan, it was nice talking to you. It was great having you. I got a lot of insights. I hope through this podcast, people who are watching it, they will also get some insights, and that will help them to buy their first home. Any closing thought you have before we turn off this podcast?
I think going back to the very first point I made, buying a home is not only a financial decision, it's a life decision. Be prepared.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Thank you
for having me here.